Did the Dallas Cowboys just make the same mistake twice? Let's talk about it, as one of the Dallas Cowboys' newly acquired players has had some subtle shots thrown at him by his former team, and those shots actually ring kind of familiar to Cowboys fans, as it represents a similar issue that we had to deal with this last season. But before we get into today's show, just a real quick second, I want to have a semi-serious conversation here. Given the recent events that's going on in the world right now, now y'all see why I approach my platform the way I do. Now y'all see why I try to approach the messaging that comes out of my platform the way that I do. Now y'all see why I don't get hung up on trying to do civil rights movements on the smallest, most mundane football-related things, man. Now y'all see why I stress the importance of us as Cowboys fans being able to enjoy a pastime, a hobby, something that's supposed to take our minds off the real world for a little bit. Now y'all see why I fight so hard to move y'all to a more positive space as it pertains to how you just view your perception of how you go about being a fan. Because, man, there's so much more important things going on in this world. Let's get right into it, though, man. I just wanted to put that out there because stuff like this really puts it in proper perspective. Enjoy the things you're supposed to enjoy and don't make them more stressful than they have to be. Real talk. Man, shut your up. Now, to today's story, we have Miles Sanders, the newly acquired running back for the Dallas Cowboys, who has also impressed people early on in the process for the Dallas Cowboys. Apparently, he has some Ezekiel Elliott-like tendencies in the Panthers locker room this past season, as the star running back for the Carolina Panthers had some choice words to share about the running back room as a whole, right? Chuba Hubbard takes subtle dig at Miles Sanders as the Panthers turn the page. This is a Carolina Panthers website, and we're going to read this article real quick, right? So, the Carolina Panthers cut Miles Sanders with 1 year remaining on his deal this offseason. It was an expected development after his 2 lackluster campaigns with the club, and it's also had a positive impact on the running back room dynamic along the way. Sanders was about himself. He was annoyed when his starting spot was taken, and he was sent to the proverbial shadows. The former second-round pick out of Penn State voiced his frustrations to the media on occasion, although he had nobody to blame but himself when push came to shove. This is 100% a Carolina Panthers website, because how the hell can you say he had nobody to blame but himself when the guy that he originally signed with, the head coach that was in place, when he originally signed with the Carolina Panthers, got fired like 6-7 games into his first season as the head coach, man? How can you possibly say that, bruh, when he was sold a bill of goods that was never fulfilled? That's essentially what happened with Miles Sanders. I would be frustrated, too, if I was signing with the Carolina Panthers out of all teams, one of the worst teams in the league, and they told me, hey, man, this is your running back room. We're signing you to be our starting running back. And then they give you less than 30 to 40% of the actual snaps at that position. And, oh, by the way, we're going to draft multiple guys at that position high in the NFL draft. I would be frustrated, too. I'm going to put that out there first. I'm going to defend our guy, Miles, man. As long as he's a Cowboy, he gets defended over here. Okay, what y'all say? All right. But things are different now. That didn't go unnoticed by Chuba Hubbard as the Panthers officially turned the page on Sanders' disastrous stint with the franchise. Wow. Here's the overall takeaway. The Carolina Panthers running back dynamic was enhanced by Miles Sanders' departure. Hubbard highlighted the renewed focus and improved relationships among the running backs as reasons for positivity. The Oklahoma State graduate, who got a new 4-year deal last season, also revealed that it hasn't always been the case in previous seasons. He said, quote, just the way we're practicing, the way we trust each other, the way we're communicating is starting to show. Just the more we practice, the more we play, the closer we're going to get and the better we're going to get. Usually in the running back room, sometimes it could be a little off, but everyone's cool in our room, and that's a blessing. I don't take that for granted, right? And essentially, this was being written as a slight to Miles Sanders, saying that he brought down the running back room for the Panthers. He brought down the feeling of camaraderie, right? And this was interesting to me because we know that Brian Schottenheimer's main focus right now is establishing this family dynamic, establishing this brotherly love type of dynamic where guys are fighting for each other, and it's one for all and all for one type of a situation, right? But the reports out of Carolina as it pertains to Miles Sanders and his stay with the Panthers was, how he handled himself kind of goes against what the Cowboys are kind of building right now. So I am very interested to see the difference between Miles Sanders being in Carolina and then being in with the Cowboys, and the difference between the cultures, and the difference between, do the Cowboys have as toxic of a culture as we really believe or been led to believe, or is this franchise better built to bring in guys that may not be the shining examples of great culture? Is this franchise better equipped to handle those type of guys and allow them to actually thrive in this environment? That's going to be a very interesting subplot to develop with the Cowboys, just seeing how Miles Sanders handles his time here as compared to Carolina and even Philadelphia, since he did play one of our division rivals. And I think that's going to be indicative of what our culture as a team actually is right now. The other aspect of this is, does Miles Sanders become disgruntled if he isn't the running back one? If he isn't the starting running back for the Cowboys? Does he become disgruntled if his role begins to slip a little bit as the season progresses? Is that going to cause any issues? I think there's a lot of interesting subplots that can come from this situation with Miles Sanders, and if that behavior translates to another organization, or if it was just specific to the Carolina Panthers. If it does translate, you can learn a lot about your team. If it doesn't translate, I think you learned a lot about your team that way as well. So either way, we can learn something about the Cowboys here. Either they're prepared and equipped to bring in guys that may not be the best fits at other places, and they can thrive here, or they have zero tolerance. And at the first sign of a guy kind of breaking the fabric of what shot he's trying to build, is he going to rule with an iron gavel? That's kind of what I want to see, and one of the interesting subplots to develop from this. And why I thought that news article was kind of interesting, because anytime you get a disgruntled guy coming to your team, it's very interesting to see how that plays out on your team, right? Is it going to continue? Is it a character problem, or was it an organization problem? I'm willing to bet it's an organization problem. I think Miles Sanders will be fine. I think he's going to surprise a lot of people this season, and we'll see him look closer to the Philadelphia Miles Sanders than he was the Carolina Miles. This is my opinion. Hey, but what am I but a hopeful Dallas Cowboys fan? And how them Cowboys
calling me, texting me, paging me, asking me, am I still the ball? Y'all usually check on me. Listen. I'm still them boys. Hey! Woo! Hey! I'm still them boys.